Friday morning's meditation seminar. We'll just suspend our mind just a teeny bit. With free awareness to become aware of its own self. The people on the internet should mute themselves. Thanks, Laura. So, having established ourselves more or less in this experience of awareness, this innate awareness, we can expand it through our bodies. We can extend this field. And as we extend it, awareness awakens awareness. Extend it down to the earth, up to the heart, palate of the mouth, top of the head, to the sky, into our fingers. The tradition of Dzogchen and Kashmir Shaivism, their process of embodiment, not only embodying the mind, not only embodying the body, but most powerfully embodying awareness itself, with the understanding that our own awareness is actually primordial awareness itself, in the mind, in body. And as we unfold this experience of embodiment in this world, we experience the vitality, the vitalness of primordial awareness itself, in us as us. And this awareness, this field of energy, spaciousness, light, radiance, will infuse our mind, actually infuses thinking and feeling, sensations, memory, and infuses our body. This vitalness is aliveness itself. And the great yogis ultimately describe this vitalness, this unborn, undying. Vajra means indestructible and indivisible awareness, manifesting everything and anything, including itself, as our own awareness. Is the life force itself. They go further, and we can go further. This form is exactly the opposite of dissociativeness. Dissociative practice, not this, not that, and neither that also. And that all phenomena is actuality. All phenomena, all apparent phenomena, including our own experience, are none other than the ground of being itself, the ground of primordial awareness, manifesting everything and anything as its own self. And as you and I practice this embodiment of this field of awareness, which you are experiencing right now, perhaps, certain capacities are manifest, intrinsic to you, by the very nature of awareness itself. And one of these capacities is the power to extend your own awareness into this world, into circumstances, into people, into events. That this power of awareness is completely intrinsic to us. It's the very nature of human awareness. Even as Bodhidharma said in the 6th century, there's a transmission. It doesn't belong to any tradition. It's beyond words and letters. It's the very nature of human awareness itself. And that's the Buddha. We say that's Shiva, Christos, whatever the metaphors of being itself that we love. So we have this power to extend this awareness. We also have the power of amplification to intensify it within our own body, and to intensify this field within our circumstances. And the great Dzogchen masters, Yangtang Rinpoche, among others, would describe this power of extension as the true compassion. That compassion is not simply wishing you well, sort of like happy birthday, but it is the very power of the resonance of awareness within this world, and being able to extend this light, this energy, this knowingness into each other and into circumstances. As this process of embodiment, not only our mind, not only our body, but this embodiment of awareness happens more and more, and we begin to experience this felt sense of this awareness, the felt sense of being itself in us, as us. That is liberation, just as we are. Embodied beingness, this presence, this space, this vitalness, this luminosity, illuminating experience, illuminating circumstance, this openness. And another capacity arises for us as we begin living in this resonance of awareness, and that as we can not only extend the energy into others, but also we ourselves can internalize or magnetize or pull in the vitalness of the energy around us. We can use the word magnetization. We can magnetize, pull, imbibe, digest the chi, the shakti, the field of energy around us, within people, nature, this vitalness. life force. Another capacity we have is also to tone it down. Sometimes it may be so intense, because as we do that, the archetypal dimension also starts to arise, and the vortexes and the energies and the intensity. And so there's also the capacity to tone it down, to pacify. If you're in awareness somewhat, more or less, this talk will make sense. If you're in mind alone, it'll seem like magical wishfulness. Another capacity that arises as you and I embody this awareness, this field, of being, is to begin, the doors open, and begin to experience the multidimensionality of this existingness. Then one dimension, what the Dzogchen calls Namanakaya, that's us sitting in this room right now. It's us. Houses, buildings, cars, people. And as we experience ourselves in ordinary life, the ordinary life world, as we experience the lucidity of the field within our own self, we begin to experience the lucidity in others. We begin to experience the field in others. And out of that, this powerful resonance begins to manifest. And as we relate to this resonance, both in the giving and the receiving, we embody more light, and more energy. There's no super duper natural in this understanding. It's humanness. The power of primordial awareness manifesting us and everything. And then another door opens up, what they call Sambhogakaya. This is called the archetypical dimension. This happened in psychoanalysis. With Jung, he starts to, we're working on one level, and suddenly this other level begins to open up, both in dreams and in the here and now, where these archetypical manifestations, the archetypes, the primordial energies that manifest everything and anything out of pure awareness. We often use mythology around them, or sometimes we symbolize them and personify them as the deities, the gods and the goddesses, devas and dakinis. And there are actualities. And so as we begin to live in this awareness, attune ourselves to it, hold it, enter it, become it, embodying it, the capacity arises to invoke, to bring forth the archetypical dimension into our own life and our own circumstances. And so one begins to have the capacity not simply to try and understand archetypes, but to embody them and bring them forth within yourself, for yourself and others. And there are many different articulations of these archetypical energies, and to each their own. And there's one more dimension, which is the primary dimension, which is, in the words of Dzogchen, the Dharmakaya, or ground awareness. And so one begins to become more open, directly attuned to ground awareness, which is pure potentiality, quantum point, pure potentiality, virtuality, And as one attunes oneself to that, then events happen. Synchronicity happens naturally. Of course, as we're embodying awareness, part of that drama is actually begin embodying the body. And the body is no longer simply an object. The body is no longer simply the external body, but the body becomes the lived body, this embodiment process. And we embody the mind. The yogis understand that one of the most basic gaps is the split between our mind and awareness. So as this process of embodiment takes place, we literally embody the mind into this embodied awareness state. And then as we have this union, this mysterious conjunctio with our mind and this awareness, a great sense of completeness arises. And we actually begin to have the capacity, naturally, to experience this ground awareness or being manifesting in beings, all the beings we see, those we like and those we dislike. We begin to experience that being is manifested in all the beings. We begin to experience the being in ourself as being, and begin to experience the very being of others as being itself. And if you want to put it in theological terms, you can. Great Dzogchen Master Dojun Rinpoche would say, really, you have to be careful begging and bleeding, since the power of awareness is within our own bodies as our own awareness itself. You also have to be careful sometimes with a lot of contrived activities. External practices are great, but can be tricky and be mechanical. And in that very action, we can lose the embodiment that we are. With that understanding this morning, we'll first of all extend to each other. If you're in your mind alone, you'll have a good intentionality, but nothing will happen. But if you can bring your awareness, and you bring your mind into awareness, because your mind is very important in all this. Without our mind, we would not see the differences. Without mind, we wouldn't see individuality. It'd be a big chunk of light. You might not even be able to drive any place, right? That's why the mind, the union of mind and awareness, is actually part of this drama. It's not dissociating the mind, giving up the mind, having no mind. So again, we'll embody our mind, we'll embody the body. We'll feel the resonance. We'll extend to each other. Very easy, without effort. Jung would speak about the mysterious conjunctio. He understood the mysterious Kunyungsho is the union of our mind and awareness, or as the Gnostics would call it, the moon, the light of the moon and the light of the sun. And out of that union, we begin to experience the mysterious Kunyungsho, or non-duality, within the world itself. Or as it says in the Yeshe Lama little handbook of Dzogchen, in my Yagmi Lingpa, the inner yin meets the outer yin. The inner field meets the outer field. When we extend, that takes place. So let's do that now. Just extend to each other. You can extend to me, your neighbors, friends on the internet. Let's see if it actually happens. We can extend from our heart, the inner heart essence. We can extend from our throat, that center. We can extend from our mind. We can extend from the Dantian. We can extend through the whole body. And with every extension, you will feel the energy coming back to you. With every act of generosity, you will be receiving. It's simultaneous. And then the field begins to manifest itself completely in our circumstances. And this morning, one of our good friends and member of our tiny little center who comes on every Friday, and Karen is being operated on this morning, right at this moment. So you don't even have to know her, you just hear her name. And you can connect with that name. So we're going to focus on Karen this morning. This awareness. Entering awareness. And we'll do that. Sometimes we can just do it directly, or sometimes we can come through a person who knows this person. You can come through me. Or Sharon. All extension is both local and non-local simultaneously, since awareness is both in time and timelessness simultaneously. And to the degree that you can hold that range of being in time and timelessness, then the more the field will come through you as an ordinary person. This power of invocation doesn't need an ordination, don't need a ritual, you don't need a particular blessing. You have it being born. That is the big blessing. We often project this power onto others ad nauseum. And with every projection, as Freud knows, you weaken yourself. Every projection weaken yourself. The actual true security is the power of your own awareness. Most extend to Karen. In this tradition of awareness, having such range as being in time and timelessness, it's at times called the fourth time. Timeless awareness, the fourth time. And so you can extend into the present moment of a person, you can extend into their past, and you can extend into their future from this place of timeless awareness. We'll do that now. Our body is the medium of this field. The entire body. The entire body. Sometimes Dzogchen considers itself the great secret. It's called secret teachings. And the secret is simply that it's so obvious. If you have access to awareness, then this low talk will make lots of sense. One of the powers of this extension, extending the energy, the light, the space, the knowingness, is that it is a method of embodiment. The actual drama of extending this energy and resonating to the different dimensions, Nirmanakaya, Sambhogakaya, Dharmakaya, is actually a method of embodying. It's the most direct method. It's also called the method of self-empowerment. We'll extend to each other now. Let's extend to each other. Now we'll open up the next dimension. It's already open. We're going to invoke the archetypal dimension. Because of our prejudices here, we're going to invoke the Dakini. There's a Dakini called Duja Yodroma. It is actually an energy of protection. It's also this light of protection, this subtle form of protection. So we invoke this feminine knowingness, this feminine power, this maternal power. It all arises in your body. It all arises from within your own awareness. And then we'll focus this energy of protection to Karen. And this particular energy, handing down from Padmasambhava Yeshitogo through lineage. There's tradition, but lineage is actually more important. Lineage is personal. It's one person to another. And with that understanding, we'll extend Doje Trauma this to Karen. And you'll feel it taking place within you. It's like white light. Crystal white light. And now we'll remain in meditation this way. So remaining in awareness. And in a certain way, this tradition, you don't actually end meditation, You rather integrate everything into this awareness state, This meditation is not a trance. It's not really an altered state. It's a state of natural awareness. With that, rub our hands together and we'll place it on our heart to hold this experience, to be in awareness throughout the day. Because it's really living in awareness, being in awareness, so the very circumstances and events of our life liberate us. I'd like to thank everybody for coming this morning. And we won't be here the next 2 weeks. We won't have meditation next Friday or the Friday after that. So that would mean 3 weeks from now, we'll have meditation again. You're welcome to stay and meditate to 9 o'clock, and there's some refreshments upstairs. And we can put the chant back on then too. We can just leave it, come right on. We'll have the Kina Day tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Everybody's welcome to come on that. It's actually fun. We'll focus on Karen a few more moments. Inside to inside, directly. This is a beautiful raga played many years ago on Guru Purnima Day in Swami Muktananda. So that energy actually comes through with this.